Hello.
You are listening to After 5 English
YouTube blog.
Hi, my name is Kumiko and I currently live in Vancouver, British Columbia. I teach English to new immigrants here in Vancouver. I'd like to introduce myself just a little bit. I spent most of the time growing up in Japan. So I speak Japanese and Japanese is my first language. So I grew up in Japan. And my mother, who's originally from the Philippines, she actually started learning Japanese right after I was born, so about like 30 something years ago. Over the time, I never really thought of teaching anything in Japanese because Japanese is hard to teach. If you're learning Japanese right now, you might be finding some difficulties. Or if you are thinking of starting to learn some Japanese and you feel like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. I can relate that because I've seen my mother struggled a lot when she had to learn Japanese in order to survive in Japan. Today though, however, I'd like to give it a try to do some Japanese teaching because I've received a fair bit of a request while I was YouTubing about how to learn English. Some of my friends watched my video with the purpose of learning Japanese because I do speak Japanese and English in my other YouTube blogs. Now, today I'm going to talk about how to count, but not the typical 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to talk about how to count something. In English, when you are to count some countable nouns like books, pens, so you could say a pen or a book. When you go for an uncountable nouns like coffee, you would say a cup of coffee or a bottle of water or a glass of wine. In Japanese, so this is the one. So when you say one coffee, please, you could say コーヒー一つ. コーヒー一つ. Now, survival Japanese is that when you say excuse me to order something, you would definitely need to say すみません. すみません. So se has a bit of a long sound. すみません. And then when the server comes, you could say コーヒー一つ. Now, even if you say coffee, they would understand because coffee is pretty common. Coffee 一つ. That's okay. If you want to sound like Japanese, you will probably need to say コーヒー一つ. See, Japanese is a vowel language unlike English, where there's a lot of consonants and there are voiceless sounds. The good thing about Japanese is that if you voice it, they will understand. So instead of saying coffee, which is good, but you could say コーヒー. Don't stop there. You will probably need to finish off the sentence by saying コーヒー一つお願いします. お願いします. Pay attention to my tones too. Not お願いします, it's お願いします. If you do speak in English intonation, there are times that people may not be able to understand. So instead of saying お願いします, you probably need to say お願いします. Sound it and use the vowel. So it's O-N-E-G-A-I-S-H-I-M-A-S-U. All the vowels, you will need to sound it. お願いします. So すみません、コーヒー一つお願いします. If you want to say two coffee, and then you need to say コーヒー二つお願いします. So he, who, me, yo. 一つ、二つ、三つ、四つ、五つ、六つ、七つ、八つ、九つ. And then from 10, if it's a coffee, you're gonna need to say 10杯. It's not really natural to say 10個 because 個 is used something like pen or something that's solid, like 10 scissors or 10 pens or 10 guitar pick. Very random, but yeah, something small, you would probably need to say 個. Book will be 冊, so 一冊、二冊、三冊. But especially when you order food, we don't say 個, like サラダ一つ. We don't say サラダ一個. So I kind of give it a try, how to count in Japanese. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be useful. I'd appreciate it if you can send me a bit of a feedback if that was okay or not. Or if you have any requests say, hey, Kumiko, I wanna know how to say this, or how do I ask for train lines, or yeah, anything, any small thing. I'd like to try addressing that on YouTube. So that's about it for today, I guess. Thanks for watching this video. ありがとうございます。So piece of advice, if you wanna speak Japanese, you should try sounding like Japanese too, because that way you get to communicate better. And I do say that to my students who's learning English as well. Anyways, I hope I get to see you soon. And till then, have a nice one. Bye.